Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty. I'm standing here in front of my stash because I decided it's time for another declutter. So whether you need to de-stash by necessity or you just want to make your stash a little bit smaller, I figured I would just set up my tripod today while I am going through everything, talk you through some tips of decluttering your stash. So let's get started. When you have a smaller space to work with, you really have to be picky and intentional about what you keep. So I thought we would first start with pulling out all of the tools that are absolutely essential to everyday making. All of the needles you have to have, all of the accessories that are, you just can't live without. Let's pull those out first and then we'll see what we are left with.
I've seen those faces, I've heard all the lies, but you ain't gazing on someone in denial. 'Cause you want dollar bills right now, but you gotta work real hard. I know you want it to be easy, so let your guard down. And I say,
these are my absolutely essential tools, things that I would not want to be without in my stash slash like yarn. I don't even know. All my stuff. I wouldn't want to be without it. So let's talk about it for a second. I've got my blocking mats and blocking pins, super essential. This is full of all of my knitting needles. Literally all of them fit in here. And my crochet hooks were on display, but they could go in here too. So that's just a really nice compact way to keep everything in one place. I've also got my ball winder from Fiber Artist Supply Co. So necessary, along with the Swift from Fiber Artist Supply Co. I have my kitchen scale. This is just like from Target or Amazon. Super great. And then these bowls are all of my most used markers. Now, you wouldn't have to keep them in a bowl, especially if we're going for like a real small space. This is just because I have the space to display them, but everything within, super essential. So this doesn't include yarn, but that's pretty much everything else that I just absolutely could not live without. Now, the second thing that I'm gonna look at, I think is pretty obvious, and that's gonna be the yarn. So I have been working really hard over the past 2 years because that's how long we've lived in this house and that's how long I've had this IKEA storage to really get everything pared down. I used to have yarn in all different places and I have 3 videos I think already of me just organizing this room, paring down my stash. And so if you want to see the entire journey from the beginning, I'll have all those videos linked down below. This last video is where I got here, but I'm going even further today. I want to have some empty spaces here on this shelf. So like I said, I've been working really hard on paring down my stash, and I have been hanging on to some skeins that I don't love, but they're very nice. And since I have the space for them, I've been keeping them. Today, that is not the case. I am only going to be keeping yarn that I would cast on a project like right now with that yarn. That's all I'm gonna keep, because if you're thinking, you have a really, really small space, like you don't have a lot of real estate for your yarn, that real estate is really valuable and you only wanna keep the best stuff. So my goal going forward is to only buy things more as I need them, and like that way I will probably, I'm sure there's still gonna be some times where I don't quite get it right, but I will probably always be interested in the yarn that I have because it will be something that I just got. That's the hope and that's the plan. So I've got 3 cubes of yarn. I don't know how many skeins I have. I wanna say in the last video I said how many that I had. Was it somewhere around 80? I don't know. So I'm really gonna be interested to see how few skeins I will have today. Having a certain number is not the goal, just having what brings me joy in the moment, and having less is definitely where I want to be. So I'm gonna pull everything out and get set up so I can start sorting through it all.
and I said,
about to see me be extremely harsh with my decisions, I feel like I owe you a little bit of a trigger warning because I'm going to be getting rid of a lot. But don't worry, everything that I'm getting rid of is going to be put into the right hands, whether it is destashed by selling or given to some friends or donated or given to you guys as prizes. Don't worry, it's not going to waste. And as I'm decluttering and I'm minimalizing, I have this in my head that sometimes it can feel wasteful when you're getting rid of stuff and you're not getting like the monetary value that you paid for it. But I challenge you to switch that mindset and realize that the wastefulness was done when you bought something that you didn't love. And maybe you loved it at the time, but you know what? Now you don't, and that's okay. So the waste was already done when you purchased it. Actually getting the item out of your life that you no longer enjoy or love or know you're going to use is not the wasteful bit, and actually can be even better if you get it to somebody who will love it and use it. So there's my disclaimer, because you're about to see some serious stuff go down.
Let's just do what you want to. Please don't be polite, cause I like your attitude. Let's forget about a curfew, cause all that is stuck in my head is me and you.
This one I'm having a little bit of a hard time with because at the time I bought it for a sweater I was excited to make, and now I'm not really that into worsted weight stuff. So I don't know what I should do. It's still a great sweater quantity and a yarn that I love, but look how much room it takes up. That one, since I'm not 100% sure, has to go in the yes pile for now.
Speeding, my heart is racing, but I'm not sure I wanna pace it, cause it only does this with you. Our bodies meet, I can feel the tension, move us into the next dimension. Let's just let our bodies be true. We make out for the thrill of it, mess around for the thrill of it. Don't stop now, never let this end. For the thrill of it, we can have it, no regret.
So before I reveal the number, make sure you have a guess in your head or put it down in the comments. But this is the keep. I'm not showing what I am getting rid of because some of it is gifts, and I don't feel comfortable doing that. I feel like with gift yarn, it can be really hard because sometimes somebody will give you a color or a material that you don't really love. And if that's going into your stash of like 200 yarns, which is what I had before, then you're not very likely to pick that up. But I feel like in the future, when I have even less than the number that I have here, when somebody gives me a gift, even if it's not my favorite color, I will be so excited in the moment that someone was thoughtful enough to give me a gift of yarn that even if it's not my favorite, I'll be ready to start a project and make something with that. And I can either keep it or give it away if I make, a gift for somebody, but I'll have so much more space, not only physical space, but mental space to appreciate that gift. And so I don't know, that's my philosophy. Let me flip back around and tell you how many skeins we have here. The grand total of my minimized stash here is 46 skeins. That is still a lot. Half of that probably is sweater quantities. That's why I really need to get on making some more sweaters. And this is all the yarn that's not being used, but I do have some in project bags I'm gonna have to get to here in a minute, but that's what we have for right now. So I'd say there's more that are in whips, but we're not gonna count that. So essential tools, yarn, check. Other than that, it's just like random stuff that's gonna take me a little time to go through. Books and magazines, I know that you have them. This is my tiny little book collection, but still, I can't even remember the last time that I referenced one of these books. So I'm about to take a really hard look at them and decide what is essential for me to keep.
Funny how the story goes, little hope but bigger dreams. They try to bring a sucker down, singing louder than the crowd. Listen the rhythm, I'm feeling brand new. Keep pushing forward, it's gonna save you. Never look down, love, not when we shine so bright.
what we have. This is keep, this is giveaway. So in the keep, let's start here. I basically kept the books that would help me with designing. My friends got me this book last year for Christmas, which is so thoughtful. And I need to be looking through these more as I design. So I know these are gonna be essential for me. Plus this beautiful blank notebook that a friend got me. And then this is my planner that I use every single day. That's a definite keep. Over here, I love this book. I read this book, and now I believe that I am done with this book. So I think that this is gonna be a really great giveaway, don't you? And then I just don't really use that one anymore. I tend to look stuff up online. I'm pretty sure I told a friend I'm giving this to you. Let me know. I think that's why I had it down here, because I finished it, and I think I'm giving it to you. And then these are all notebooks that are like half used, and I don't use them anymore because anytime I need notes, I put it in my planner, and then that's it. So that's definitely going to help me get things pared down, because I'll probably just keep the books here on the shelf. All right, it's the next morning. I knew this was gonna take more than one day. Last night when I started working on it, I got interrupted and had to go do something else, and I figured that would happen, but that's okay. So we're back on it today. I've got my coffee. We've got this gorgeous morning light. I love it. So we're just gonna keep on going. So next, I am going to work on these baskets here on the bottom of my IKEA shelves. This is like all the random stuff. I've been hanging on to yarn that I use sometimes for when I'm doing designs, like to have just extra yarn. I've got a lot of project bags I'm finally ready to let go of, because I don't really use my drawstring project bags very often now that I have my float totes, because they just work so much better for keeping like multiple balls of yarn separated. So I'm probably gonna pare those down a lot. And I don't even know what else is in there. So I'm just gonna go for it, and we'll make it speedy and fast.
Do you ever call back? Do you ever pick up on that phone? Stop pretending I don't know you're home. I guess not. Do you ever respond? Explain it all again, again, again. Tell me why you don't wanna be friends. I guess not.
So I ended up letting go of about 6 bags, project bags, which may not seem like a lot, but it was kind of tough. Even though I don't use them very often, it's like, why? I don't know. It's hard to let go, because I know some of them are special, but then I have to think, are they still special to me? It's so hard sometimes. So I ended up keeping project bags, and I put all of them in here. This is one that I absolutely adore. And so I decided I will keep what I can fit inside of here. So there you go. That's another little storage tip. If you have a small space, is store things inside of something else. Honestly, I could put this on these shelves and it would look super cute, and no one would know that it's just storing my other bags. So I feel like that's a win. Out of all of those on the bottom, besides the project bags, that was pretty much one box. I have 1 cube of just random stuff left. And then I also have my needlepoint stuff, which I'm struggling a little bit if I want to hang on to, because I haven't needlepoint in like a year and a half, but I want to, but then I'm like, I actually don't want to. So I don't know what to do with that. I know eventually I'll probably get back to it. I'd love to make Toaster some more collars and my dad a belt, but it's like, do I hang on to it until I'm ready, or when I'm ready, do I get the things? I just don't know yet. So since it's a maybe, it's gonna stay for now. While I have these empty, I am going to vacuum up all of the little like dust and gross stuff that comes off the baskets, and plus I'm pretty sure that is a dead bug, so we're gonna clean this up.
Baby, no, I don't wanna go. You know how much I hate sleeping alone. I can never make it on my own. Tell me what I'm gonna do. Tell me how I'm gonna live my life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense. Tell me how I'm gonna get through. I don't wanna take another life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense.
This little drawer has some different accessories in it that I definitely use a lot, but I don't think I want to have a drawer anymore, if that makes sense. I'd rather just maybe keep this like in a pouch, just to not have this drawer thing on my shelf. I want to do more open, so we're gonna get that cleared out and just stored in another way. I might even use some of the knitting bags that I'm keeping to hold that stuff.
Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy, or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Before you turn away, I just want you to know that I didn't throw your stuff away. Before you make up your mind that I'm nowhere to find, I'm standing right here. I know that I told you we're over, I swear that I'm sober, just listen, I miss you.
So now that I've gone through just about everything except for, you know, all the cute accessories and my tons of scraps on the top, I am going to pull everything else off, dust it, and then start putting things back. And my goal is to make it so simplistic and open and peaceful.
Know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy, or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Till the morning light, till the morning light, till the morning light, yeah. Till the morning light, till the morning light, till the morning light, yeah.
Look at how different that is. It's so crazy. I mean, definitely achieving that super minimal look. So you might be getting a little suspicious at this point, wondering where all my yarn went. Don't worry, that will all be revealed soon. Let me swing around because we got one more corner here to work on. If you're like me, or honestly, I feel like this is a normal thing for knitters and crocheters, somehow you end up with a corner like this. Bags of whips and projects that you're like setting aside because you're gonna work on them later, but then you don't, or you put yarn together in a bag, but then you don't start it, and this just happened. So I need to go through all this now that everything else is organized, and I'm going to get everything that's a current whip into a project bag and into that bag. We're not gonna have those anymore. No storage at all, just what we're working on. So that's gotta happen. Let's get to it.
I've seen those faces, I've heard all the lies, but you ain't gazing on someone in.
There we go. Everything is cleaned up. Only whips. Okay, and a few designs are at the bottom because sometimes I don't know. I think I can do more than I can actually do, but it's all in there. So much better. So now I can just pick that up and move it when I need to. But this yarn room is looking good.
Cause you want dollar bills right now, but you gotta work real hard. I know you want it to be easy, so let your guard down. And I said,
You might be a little suspicious at this point because, hello, my shelves are so empty behind me. And I have a bit of a surprise, announcement. We are moving. So it's a perfect time to go through and declutter and go through all of my yarn. We are moving. I'm not gonna say where just yet because I'm gonna tease you a little bit, but I will give you a hint. Where we are moving to, I'm going to need my hand knits a whole lot more. That's all I'm gonna say for now. Come back on Thursday for the podcast and I will tell you exactly where we're moving to and my plans. I'm super, super excited to let you guys know what is coming up in the future. So excited. Anyway, if you want to see it maybe a day early, I might be posting a this and that video the day before, but I haven't exactly planned that out yet. So just be looking on both accounts to see all the details. I'm so excited to share with you. So let me show you a little more close in what it looks like here. This was just for staging purposes, just to look kind of like empty, neutral for pictures, and I'll show you my packing solutions. So for staging, we kept it really nice and simple. Our stager told us to keep like mini open containers, like as many as we could, open squares. I am not taking this IKEA unit with me. I don't think it's gonna fit in our new place. Again, more details coming, but I chose to keep a lot of the neutral yarns out, and then I went with like a palette of blue because behind me, we have that blue wall hanging. And then the baskets in the bottom, I've already gone through and organized them, but they are emptier than before. And I just kind of kept some things that I knew I'd need to get to. So these are my tubs for moving. You can see they're already labeled with move. Also, it has a blue Post-it note because we have a little system of like, for our stuff, like what's gonna be moved and what's gonna be like gone and stored, etc. So let's just pop open this first one here. I think, yeah, so this one is gonna have all of my yarn in it. Underneath all these bags, I've got yarn, and I've already gone through and sorted so much stuff, you guys. This is all yarn. So this is like my entire yarn collection that is full skeins. The tub is completely full. These are from Target, by the way. They're really, really great. So all my yarn is in here. And then in here, I've got some of the other stuff. So I've got more bags, and then I've got like other accessories. I also got rid of all of my containers because I just don't know what the storage is gonna be like at my new place. I'm gonna need to be a little more compact. So I got rid of and donated my like really cool treasure chest box and all of that. But you know what? I'm not sad about it at all because my whole journey has been towards minimalism, and this is just another way. Downsizing is going to be another way just to, you know, help propel that forward. So everything is packed in here pretty good. I'm not going to take it all out, but I have been packing away all of my essentials in here, and I am definitely going to take you through as I set up my new place and get everything organized here really, really soon. Thanks so much for watching yet another stash organization video. It's definitely not the last one. We've finally downsized, and soon we're gonna be moving into a place where I'm going to get to organize again. So that will be coming in the future. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and stay tuned. I'm gonna be revealing more about our big move here very, very soon. Bye.